We stay away from most people, seeing as they're all a bunch of pansies and such. Current company excluded. He added with a flourish of his hand at the rest of the people down the bar. It's not your fault you weren't born dwarves, like me! Shut the fuck up, Finn. Always with the stupid Earth theories. A huge gray-skinned troll a few stools down rumbled into his overly large mug. Finn leaned into the bar, squinting to get a better look. Winston, what are you doing here? Trying to steal another artifact out from under me? I hardly stole the last one. Winston's tone was far more refined than one would expect from such an ugly face. I merely picked it up after you dropped it running from the locals. Maybe next time you don't antagonize the entire population of a city while in the middle of a job, eh? Maybe you should suck my belch. The burp was hard and loud, making the elf next to him scoot back in sudden fear of being vomited on. I'm sorry. What was that? Winston pressed the lobe of his pointy ear closer to Finn. I didn't quite catch that. Perhaps you would know how to hold your liquor better if you weren't as much an animal as that smelly lizard you call a friend. Finn wiped the back of his hand across his mouth. Now you've gone and done it. Penny don't stand for no backtalk. A flash of blue and red streaked out of Finn's coat, darting down the bar. Glasses were either knocked to the floor or pulled out of the way just in time by quick hands as the scaly little creature made a beeline for the troll. Winston only raised an eyebrow and calmly took another drink. The creature slid to a stop beside Winston's large gray hand, reared up on her hind legs, and unfolded her wings. There was a split second in which the bar fell silent, as everyone took in Penny in all her small glory. She was 1.5 feet long from tail to tip, and most of that was in her long serpentine neck and prehensile tail. Her body was barely larger than a fist, and covered in metallic dark blue scales, with a red stripe of small spikes down her back that ended with a spike on the tip of her tail. But it was her majestic butterfly wings that took the onlooker's breath away. They were each 1 foot wide and glowed iridescent blue in the dim light of the bar. She was a Faerie Dragon, and a perfect example of her race. Except that she was bonded to Finn, and he had taught her some nasty little tricks, like how to breathe fire. A white-hot jet of flame shot from the dragon's mouth and splashed across Winston's hand. Ow! Winston shot to his feet, knocking his stool to the ground. With a quick flick of his hand, he sent Penny tumbling behind the bar with a squeak. The crowd gasped and turned their heads to see what Finn would do. Why would you do that? Finn yelled, diving over the bar to rescue his friend. The crowd turned to Winston. Why would you have that little shit attack me? He growled, holding the cool mug to his blistered hand. You know trolls are susceptible to fire. You're out of control, Finn. How long have we been treasure hunters? 50 years? In all that time, I have never once tried to harm you. At least not directly. That counts for something. The crowd turned back as Finn popped up from behind the bar, Penny on his shoulder, looking no worse for wear. Luckily, dragons were hard to hurt, even the small ones. What about Stellat Prime? You shot me in the arm. He pulled up his sleeve, showing off the round scar. The crowd turned back to Winston, whose face was a little greener as his green blood rushed to his cheeks in embarrassment. That was a